Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump faced off in a 90-minute debate filled with personal attacks and little policy discussion.
She doesn't have a plan. She copied Biden's plan.
He invited trade wars. You want to talk about his deal with China? What he ended up doing is under Donald Trump's presidency.
Trump painted Harris as a far-left candidate who supports open borders, banning fracking, and confiscating guns, while Harris questioned Trump's fitness for office, calling him a disgrace and ridiculing him throughout the debate. Trump's responses jumped between topics, frequently returning to immigration, even making a false claim that Haitian migrants in Ohio were eating pets. A statement dismissed by local officials. His rambling style, while typical, left questions about his focus.
What they have done to our country by allowing these millions and millions of people to come into our country, and look at what's happening to the towns all over. A lot of towns don't want to talk about it because they're so embarrassed by it. In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country, and it's a shame. As far as rallies are concerned, as far as the reason they go is they like what I say. And if she becomes president, this country doesn't have a chance of success. Not only success, we'll end up being Venezuela on steroids.
You talk about extreme. This is, I think, one of the reasons why in this election I actually have the endorsement.
Harris, in turn, attacked Trump's leadership, calling him weak and claiming autocrats manipulate him. She highlighted former Republican allies who have turned against Trump and accused him of being a puppet for dictators.
Donald Trump is weak and wrong on national security and foreign policy. It is well known that he admires dictators, wants to be a dictator on day one, according to himself, that these dictators and autocrats are rooting for you to be president again because they're so clear. They can manipulate you with flattery and favors.
Trump exaggerated Harris's positions, falsely claiming she's a Marxist, planning to confiscate guns and defund the police.
She gave all that stuff up very wrongly, very horribly, and everybody's laughing at it, okay? They're all laughing at it. She gave up at least 12 and probably 14 or 15 different policies. Like, she was big on defund the police.
While Harris clarified she and her running mate are gun owners, Trump's portrayal of Harris as far left aligns with his campaign strategy to sway independent voters.
They have, and she has, destroyed our country with policy that's insane. Almost policy that you'd say they have to hate our country.
On foreign policy, Harris called for a ceasefire in Gaza and continued support for Israel, while Trump claimed the war wouldn't have happened if he was president.
It must end immediately, and the way it will end is we need a ceasefire deal and we need the hostages out. And so we will continue to work around the clock on that. Work around the clock, also understanding that we must chart a course for a two-state solution. But the one thing I will assure you always, I will always give Israel the ability to defend itself.
If I were president, it would have never started. She hates Israel. If she's president, I believe that Israel will not exist within 2 years from now. And I've been pretty good at predictions, and I hope I'm wrong about that one.
On Ukraine, Trump pushed for negotiations to end the war, while Harris stressed for support for Ukraine against Russian aggression, saying Trump would have weakened NATO's standing.
And through the work that I and others did, we brought 50 countries together to support Ukraine in its righteous defense. And because of our support, because of the air defense, the ammunition, the artillery, the javelins, the Abrams tanks that we have provided, Ukraine stands as an independent and free country. If Donald Trump were president, Putin would be sitting in Kyiv right now.
They sent her to negotiate peace before this war started. 3 days later, he went in and he started the war. He got these countries, the 28 countries at the time. He said, I've never seen, he's the head of NATO. He said, I've never seen. For years, we were paying almost all of NATO. We were being ripped off by European nations, both on trade and on NATO. I got them to pay up by saying one of the statements you made before, if you don't pay, we're not going to protect.